In terms of safety during a tornado, it's the last thing you want to have. Big windows like this are easily broken, debris comes flying in.
Meteorologist Jim Kramper is on a different kind of home tour. He and Tim Daimler of Missouri State Emergency Management Agency are not interested in furnishings or style, but in safety during a tornado.
If you're threatened by a tornado, this is the obvious place to go.
For the National Weather Service meteorologist, tornado safety means one place, the basement of this mid-Missouri house.
Your chance of survival in a strong tornado goes up tenfold if you're underground in a basement. If you're not, then it's really risky.
Kramper says the lower you are in a building, the greater your protection, because a tornado is a column of very rapidly rotating air. Trees, buildings, and other ground structures create friction, slowing down the tornado's destructive air rotation.
You can have windows breaking in the top level, roofs flying off in the upper level of a building, and down below, that window's not that strong, didn't even break a window.
But Kramper recommends doing more than just getting to the basement. Create additional protection by getting under the stairs, and perhaps even enclosing the stairwell.
That way, if debris does come flying in, you've got some extra shelter of the stairs overhead, a closed area, and you've got a pretty good chance of being very safe and sound.
But what do you do if the house does not have a basement? Kramper's search returned to the next lowest level of the house, and he's looking for interior rooms.
As you can see, we've got a nice solid wall here and a little bit of a hallway, but right next to the front door. So if that door fails, debris can fly right into this hallway. So this would not be a good place to go. As we go in this little area, we've got some possibilities I think that will work very well. We've got a small interior bathroom here, fully enclosed, be a good place to go. And then if you had to, you've got a closet right here under this stairwell. Again, you could at least two, maybe three people could hide in this closet under the stairwell. That would be a very good place to go.
Kramper also recommends turning up the television for the latest storm information or using a NOAA weather alert radio that you can take with you to your home shelter area.
So you can listen to that and keep up to date. Know when the storms have moved by, know where the latest warnings are.
Ideally, take the radio to the basement, and if there is no basement, remember to put as many walls as possible between yourself and the tornado. It's all part of being storm aware.
If people are living in a mobile home, the key thing for me is planning.
National Weather Service meteorologist Jim Kramper has seen too many times the incredible destruction that a tornado or even a severe thunderstorm can do to a mobile home.
Even in weak, small tornadoes, they're very susceptible to being destroyed. You want to have a substantial shelter you can go to. You plan ahead of time, make sure you have enough time to get there.
Kramper and Tim Daimler of Missouri State Emergency Management Agency say that mobile home residents must consider what they will do in the event of severe weather before ever moving into their homes. And they should always be aware when the weather forecast calls for even the possibility of severe weather.
You need to know ahead of time, well, thunderstorms are expected today. I better keep my eyes peeled, listen, find out what's going on.
Kramper's recommendations include decide where you will go to take shelter before moving in. A friend or relative's permanent house is a possibility. Make sure you can get in 24 hours a day. Time out the route to your shelter location so you'll be certain that you can get there in time anytime a tornado warning is issued. Always follow weather forecasts and purchase a NOAA weather radio. The radio will sound alerting you to severe weather warnings 24 hours a day. Sign up for severe weather text messages or email alerts. And if you do not have time to get to your safe shelter, get out of the mobile home and take cover in a ditch or low-lying area.
I call the lie in a ditch scenario to be a last resort thing. You've got the warning maybe, or you see the tornado coming and you don't have time to get to a shelter. That's when you hide in a ditch or some low spot. The idea is get low. Make all that debris fly right over the top of you. Because again, most people are killed or injured by the flying debris.
Kramper says you also might be vulnerable to lightning, hail, and possible flash flooding, but that a mobile home is simply too lightweight and vulnerable to a tornado, even when the mobile home is tied down.
They're not real, it may seem to us heavy, but in terms of a dwelling, they're not very heavy at all. They tend to be long, rectangular. The wind can catch them very easily.
That's why a relative or a friend's permanent house, preferably with a basement, is a better option than sheltering in a mobile home, and why mobile home residents should always be storm aware.
We're going to go to the lowest level, and we're going to go to an interior room. You learn something and you practice it, and it's okay. It does well.
At Columbia's Paxton Keeley Elementary School, Mrs. Aguilar's 5th grade class is about to practice responding to a scenario that no teacher wants to encounter in real life.
Students, please move to your severe weather location.
The children know that the school's safety plan calls for all students on the 2nd floor to exit their classrooms, to stay together, to calmly walk down the stairs.
These are life-saving skills that you're learning today.
And in the case of this class, to file into the 1st floor media room, a room with no windows and all the walls are interior walls.
Protect what you can't do without. You can't do without your head. We don't want to be any place that has exterior windows, exterior walls, large spans like a gymnasium. Wouldn't necessarily be a very good choice. Is everybody doing okay?
Windows are avoided not just because of shattering glass, but because 200-mile-an-hour winds can turn ordinary objects into missiles. These projectiles can also penetrate walls. The idea is to put as many walls as possible between the children and the tornado.
Good job.
Auditoriums, gymnasiums, and other areas with expansive roofs are avoided because they are more vulnerable and could collapse. The children remain on their hands and knees, covering their heads and necks until given the all clear. As an alternative to using the 1st floor media room, after all other students had evacuated the 2nd floor, Mrs. Aguilar's students could have taken cover in the interior stairwell. Again, there are no windows and no exterior walls.
And it's super because interior, stairwell, it's also a fire stairwell, so it's very secure.
The school had not sheltered in stairwells before, but reevaluated its plan after the 2011 Joplin EF5 tornado.
We're a school of 700, so we were thinking, do we have better locations? And so we've been looking at our interior stairwells as a location that we can use instead of some rooms that had windows.
The training is designed to inform and to reassure the children.
I learned that you should always go to a room in the center of the building and to make sure you cover your head and neck.
If you don't know this stuff, then you could get hurt during a real tornado, and so that's why it's important to practice.
The children have learned an important lesson in being storm aware.